Hey, what if I told you that all those must-do parenting rules like co-sleeping, baby wearing, or breastfeeding aren't actually the key to bonding with your baby? Yeah, I know. Sounds crazy when everyone's piling on the pressure, making you feel like if you don't do these things, you're somehow failing. But here's the truth. The real magic of connection isn't in these methods. It's in something so much simpler, yet so powerful. And I'm gonna break it down for you right now, so you can ditch the guilt and breathe a little easier. Let's dig deeper with a question that might hit home. Ever wonder why you're losing sleep over not doing things the right way, when other parents seem to have it all figured out? I've seen countless moms and dads tear themselves apart over this. Like a friend of mine who felt she was ruining her baby's future because she couldn't breastfeed due to medical reasons. She'd cry herself to sleep, thinking she'd never have that secure attachment everyone talks about. But here's the thing. Attachment isn't about a checklist. It's not about whether you sling your baby on your hip 24/7 or share a bed. It's about showing up again and again in the messy, imperfect ways that only you can. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine it's 3 a.m., you're bleary-eyed, and your little one's wailing. You stumble over, not even sure if it's hunger or a wet diaper, but you're there, holding them close, figuring it out. That's the bond. Not the how, but the I'm here. Research backs this up. Studies show it's the consistent response to a baby's needs, not the method of delivery, that builds trust. Think about feeding. Breast or bottle, doesn't matter. What counts is you noticing they're hungry and meeting that need, day after day. Same with sleep. Whether they're in a crib by your side or snuggled next to you, if you're attuned to their cries and comforts, you're golden. I've worked with parents who felt forced into co-sleeping out of fear, only to realize they could still be just as connected with a bassinet setup as long as they responded with love. And let's talk numbers for a sec. Decades of attachment theory research, from folks like John Bowlby to modern pediatric studies, confirm that reliability trumps technique every time. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. I remember another parent, a dad who worked long shifts and couldn't do the skin to skin everyone raved about. He thought he'd missed his chance. But every evening, he'd sit with his little girl, humming off-key lullabies while she dozed on his chest. That was his way. And it worked. So if you're stressing over not following the latest parenting trend, let me tell you now, your way can work too. It's the heart behind it, the showing up that your baby feels. And trust me, they feel it deep. Now let's lay this out clear and full, because I know you've got questions buzzing in your head. What does showing up even look like when you're drowning in diaper changes and sleep deprivation? Secure attachment, the kind that helps your kid grow into a confident, trusting person, starts with the basics, recognizing their needs and meeting them as best you can, most of the time. It's not rocket science, but it's not always instinct either. Picture this, your baby's fussing, and you're not sure if it's a dirty diaper or just crankiness from overstimulation. You check, you soothe. Maybe you miss the mark and they cry a bit longer while you grab a pacifier. That's okay. The bond isn't built in one perfect moment. It's in the 1,000 tiny tries. Let's break it into real scenarios. Feeding first, whether you're nursing or mixing formula at 2 a.m. The act of seeing their hunger cues, those little lip smacks or hand-to-mouth motions, and responding builds trust. I've seen a mom who switched to bottles after struggling with latching, and she'd whisper sweet nothings during every feed, locking eyes with her baby. That connection? Unbreakable. Then there's sleep. Co-sleeping works wonders for some. rolling over to pat a restless baby back to dreamland. But I've also watched parents thrive with a crib setup, keeping a monitor close, rushing in at the first whimper. One couple I know had their newborn in a bassinet right by their bed. Every night, they'd reach over to stroke a tiny hand through the bars. Same love, different style. And don't get me started on baby wearing. Sure, strapping your little one to your chest can feel like a hug that never ends. But if it's not your thing, carrying them in your arms or pushing a stroller while chatting to them works just as well. The key is consistency. Babies learn they can count on you when you keep coming back, no matter the method. Now let's lean on some hard facts. Research from the American Academy of Pediatrics shows that responsive caregiving, tuning into cries, cuddles, and coos, directly correlates with secure attachment, far more than any specific practice. A 2010 study even found that babies whose parents responded reliably, not perfectly, to their signals showed lower stress hormone levels by age 1. And here's a detail to chew on. Attachment isn't a one-way street. Your baby's wired to connect too. Those big eyes locking on yours, those gummy smiles, they're reaching out. I recall a tired mom who felt like she was failing because she couldn't do the trendy stuff. But one day, her 3-month-old grabbed her finger during a mundane diaper change and just held on, staring. That grip said more than any parenting book. So whatever your setup, working parent, stay at home, single, or teamed up, if you're trying, noticing, responding, you're already wiring that bond. But I know the doubt creeps in. What about when you can't respond right away? What about the guilt? Stick with me, because we're gonna flip that worry on its head next. Here's a curveball to shake things up. What if I told you that not being the perfect parent is actually a gift to your baby? Yeah, I get it. Feels wrong when you're beating yourself up for taking 5 minutes to finish a shower while your little one's fussing. But let's unpack this. Perfection isn't just impossible. It's not even the goal. There's this idea called good enough parenting, coined by a pediatrician back in the day, and it's a game changer. The research, straight from Dr. Donald Winnicott's work, shows that meeting your baby's needs just 30% of the time is enough to raise a healthy, securely attached kid. Let that sink in. Only 1/3 of the time. That means the other 2/3, when you're fumbling, guessing, or just plain exhausted, isn't breaking anything. In fact, studies by researchers like Tronick and Janino reveal something wild. Those moments when you miss a cue or take a bit longer to respond, they're teaching your baby they can handle small frustrations. It's like tiny lessons in resilience. Think about a real moment. I know a parent who thought she'd ruined a nap because she was stuck on a quick work call when her baby woke up crying. She got there 2 minutes late, heart pounding with guilt. But her little one, after a few sobs, started cooing at a mobile overhead, self-soothing. That delay wasn't failure. It was growth. So next time you're stuck rinsing shampoo out of your hair or misread a hungry cry for a tired one, don't spiral. You're not dropping the ball. You're giving your kids space to learn they're okay, even when you're not right there. And honestly, isn't that what we want? Kids who know the world doesn't end if mom or dad needs a minute. This isn't about slacking off. It's about balance. You're still their rock, just not their every second superhero. And trust me, they're learning from that too. Now let's hit the heart of what keeps so many of you up at night. Those big, scary parenting myths that fuel endless worry. I'm talking crying, milestones, and the fear of ruining your baby. Let's tackle these one by one with every detail I've got, so you can finally let go of the weight. First, crying. You've probably heard the horror stories. Baby cries, stress hormones like cortisol flood their system, and boom, permanent brain damage. Terrifying, right? But hold on. Crying is normal. It's how babies talk before they've got words. Hunger, tiredness, boredom, a scratchy tag on their onesie. They cry to tell you. And get this, Dr. Ronald Barr's research on the infant crying curve shows a clear pattern worldwide. Newborns cry 1 to 2 hours a day. 2 to 3 weeks, it ramps up, peaking at 6 to 8 weeks, with some babies hitting 2 to 3 hours. Others up to 5 hours daily. Then, by 3 to 4 months, it tapers off. That's a lot of tears. And when you're in the thick of it, every wail feels like forever. I've been there with parents who'd stare at the clock, thinking, is this breaking my kid? But here's the science. Brief crying doesn't harm. Billions of babies have wailed through these peaks, with no developmental delays or cortisol damage. The real danger? Chronic neglect, like in extreme cases from historical studies of understaffed orphanages where babies were left alone for hours, fed on rigid schedules with no comfort. That's when stress hormones stay sky high and hurt development. But if you're trying, rocking, singing, even if you're a few minutes late, you're not in that zone. Your care outweighs those short cries. I remember a mom who panicked every time her baby sobbed, thinking she was poisoning him with stress. But once she understood it was just his way of saying, I'm tired, she'd hum, sway, and watch him settle. No harm done. Second, developmental milestones. You've heard the benchmarks. Rolling over by 4 months. Sitting by 6 months. When your baby's not there on the dot, panic sets in. But milestones aren't deadlines. They're ranges. Rolling over, normal between 4 to 7 months. Sitting up, anywhere from 4 to 9 months for many. Every kid's pace is unique. The American Academy of Pediatrics stresses progress over precision. Look at the trend, not the day. I've seen a dad obsess over his son not crawling on time at 8 months, comparing him to a neighbor's kid. But by 10 months, his boy was scooting everywhere, right in the normal window. Stress for nothing. That said, there are end ranges to watch. By 3, 6, 9, and 12 months, certain skills should emerge. If they don't, it's a red flag, not a crisis, but a sign to check with a professional. Early intervention can work wonders, catching delays before they snowball. I've guided parents through this. A little one not babbling by 12 months got flagged, and with speech therapy, caught up by 18 months. No lifelong impact, just a nudge. Third, let's circle back to attachment fears. If you're not doing the big 3, co-sleeping, baby wearing, breastfeeding, society can make you feel like you're doomed. But I've watched a single mom bottle feed her preemie in the NICU, whispering to him through an incubator, building a bond no book could predict. Another family couldn't co-sleep due to safety concerns. So they kept a crib close, hand on chest through every midnight wake-up. Their kids just as attached. The data's clear. Responsiveness, not ritual, is the glue. A 2015 study in child development found no difference in attachment security between co-sleeping and crib-sleeping infants when parents were consistently attentive. So, whether you're juggling work, health issues, or just personal choice, your love isn't measured by a parenting style. It's in the daily grind, those bleary-eyed feeds, the diaper fumbles, the way you murmur, I've got you, even when you're spent. These myths, crying, milestones, methods, don't define your work. Your effort does. And if you're still doubting, let me share one last thing to lift you up. Here's a little twist to make you smile, because I know this parenting gig can feel like a pressure cooker. Did you know that every time you mess up, like misreading a cry for hunger when your baby's just bored, or taking an extra minute to finish folding laundry while they fuss, you're actually handing them a superpower. Yep, those tiny hiccups, the ones that make your heart sink with guilt, are secretly building their grit. Think about it. When you're not instantly there to fix every little thing, they start to figure out how to wait, how to self-soothe. Even if it's just for a few seconds. I've seen it play out in the sweetest ways. There was this one tired parent I knew, juggling twins, always feeling like she was shortchanging one while tending to the other. One day, she was stuck changing a diaper on baby A while baby B whimpered in the crib. By the time she got there, B had found her own thumb to suck on, eyes half closed, calming herself. That wasn't neglect, that was a win. Research backs this up too. Studies show these small, safe struggles teach babies they can handle discomfort, wiring them for independence down the road. It's not about ignoring them. It's about giving them space to grow while you're still their safety net. I've watched a dad laugh through tears when he realized his delay in picking up his crying toddler because he was scrubbing spaghetti off the floor led to the kid dragging a toy over to distract himself. That's resilience budding right there. So picture yourself in those chaotic moments. You're in the middle of a quick bathroom break, hear a wail, and rush out with soap still on your hands. You get there, scoop them up, and yeah, they're fine. But in that tiny gap, they've learned something. They're okay for a moment without you. Isn't that kinda beautiful? We're not just raising babies. We're raising little fighters who'll face the world knowing not everything's instant. And that's all right. So next time guilt creeps in because you didn't teleport to their side, give yourself a high five instead. You're not just parenting, you're prepping them for life. And honestly, seeing those first flickers of "I've got this" in their eyes, it's a quiet kind of magic that makes the hard days worth it. So let's wrap this up with the real deal. Bonding with your baby isn't about nailing every trendy parenting trick. It's about showing up, messy and real, day after day. Crying? It's just their language, not a crisis. Milestones? They've got a wide window, so ease off the clock watching. And perfection? Forget it. Your good enough is more than enough to raise a secure, strong kid. If this helped you let go of even one worry, I'd love to keep sharing these truths with you. So if you're up for more, hit that like and subscribe. It's the nudge that keeps me talking. And hey, I'm curious. What's one parenting fear you're ready to drop after hearing this? Drop it in the comments. Let's chat.